Hello, guys, and welcome back to Nate Sports Talk. Arsenal will not be winning the Premier League this season, and here is why. I understand that on paper it looks like they've made some good signings with Havertz, Rice, and Jurrien Timber, but if you really look into it, there only one of them was actually like a really good signing, and then you have Havertz, who's just a name value. He looks good on paper, but he provides nothing to Arsenal that will make them better. There's a reason why Chelsea let him go, and there's a reason why Chelsea finished 12th with him in the squad. Jurrien Timber is a nice player, a good rotation piece. If you're looking to play him as a right back, you're sadly mistaken because that's not what he is. He's a center back, but he's a nice rotation option for Gabriel and Saliba. You ask yourself, is Mikel Arteta an elite manager? Because you look at all the recent teams that have won a Premier League. You look at Pep Guardiola, one of the best to ever coach. Jurgen Klopp, one of the best to ever coach. You have Antonio Conte in that category as well. The list just goes on and on. You look at most managers, and they are elite managers. And Mikel Arteta finished 8th, 5th, 2nd. Those wouldn't scream out elite numbers. Yes, he has the FA Cup. Yes, they finished second place, which I guess is an accomplishment, but at the end of the day, you didn't get the job done. So it doesn't matter where you finished if it's not first or top four. Other than that, there's no significance in placing second. You look at the lineup. They're not elite in any category. Their front three is not elite. Yes, they have Bukayo Saka, who is an elite player, but Martinelli's not elite. Jesus is definitely not elite. If you've seen some of the stuff that he's come out with recently about how he cried because Zinchenko was played as a false nine in a game against PSG, that shows you how little Pep thought of Gabriel Jesus as a number 9. That he threw a left back in at striker, right? So that should be more than enough to tell you the kind of quality that Jesus lacks as a number 9. They don't have anyone who's going to go out there and get them goals in that front three, especially a striker. You looked at when they had all their success, Jesus was out for a large part of it. And Eddie Nketiah was there scoring loads of goals for them. That's what they need. They need an out-and-out goal scorer, and they don't have that with Jesus, and you don't want to rely on Nketiah to do that game in, game out, especially in the big games, because he just isn't that kind of quality player. You look at the midfield. Yes, they have a really decent midfield with Odegaard and Rice, but if you're throwing Havertz in at that right center mid role, I don't know what to tell you. He's not going to do anything. He looks good on paper, right? When you build a player, you'd want a player like Kai Havertz, someone who can score goals, play the number 9, play as a 10, and have passing ability with striking ability. But when you watch him play and you see his stats, it's not what you would think of. It's not what you would think, right? Because you play him as a number 9. His shooting isn't good enough to be a number 9, but he has really good passing for a striker. But so then you think, all right, let's put him in as a 10. But then he has good shooting for a 10, but his playmaking and passing abilities isn't up to standard for a number 10. Along with his poor work rates, he's not someone who's going to, if the ball's not going forward, if he's not going forward with the ball, then he's useless because he's not going to track back. He's not going to put in a tackle on someone. He's going to stand around, look for someone else to do it, and throw his hands about. Chelsea fans, let me know if you guys think if that's true or not. If I'm wrong about it, then let me know. But from what I've seen, he has poor work rates, so throwing him at midfield isn't going to be good enough for him. This isn't a Premier League winning midfield. Yes, Rice could potentially be one of the best English midfielders to play in his generation. Odegaard, we know what kind of qualities Odegaard has, but I'm not sure about Havertz. Jorginho's a nice option to come off the bench. Thomas Partey's a nice option to come off the bench. But are you looking at those guys and saying that's a Premier League level midfield right there? Because I'm not. I don't think so. And then the back line obviously stays the same. You can't win a Premier League with Zinchenko in. Man City let go of Zinchenko so that way they could start Nathan Ake in at left back. Like, that's how you know that he's not of quality. Pep thought it would be better to throw a center back, a natural center back, in at left back and get the job done because Zinchenko isn't good enough quality. You saw towards the latter stages of the season this year where when it mattered most, he was nowhere to be found. He was there crying on the pitch, throwing his arms about, throwing on a show. He puts on a good facade. He makes you believe that he's a leader, that he's a genuine quality. But when you watch him play, he just isn't that guy. Yes, he's likable, but he isn't good enough to win you a Premier League. The left side of the pitch has no defending on it because you have Martinelli, Odegaard, and Zinchenko. That left side of the pitch is going to be eaten up by the Riyad Mahrezes, the Mo Salahs, and just those kinds of guys. They're going to be able to easily pick apart that right side. Gabriel Saliba, those are the only elite pairings in this Arsenal squad. You have really good center backs, and that's good foundations to win a Premier League. But you need more than just elite center back pairings. And if one of those goes down, who knows? Maybe Jurrien Timber does really well. But is he going to be Gabriel or Saliba? Probably not. You look at the right back, Tomiyasu, Ben White, decent options, but are they Premier League winning options? I would say no. And again, same thing that I was saying earlier for the left side. The right side is going to be easy to pick apart as well. You're going to be putting a lot of pressure on Declan Rice to cover both sides of the pitch. He's going to have to protect the left side and the right side because you have no midfielders who, are going to be able to drop back and play some good defense. You look at Liverpool, where they had Jordan Henderson who could cover that right side for Trent. You had Mo Salah who's willing to drop back when needed. You had Gini Wijnaldum on the left who was able to be a box-to-box. And, of course, you had Robertson. You look at City. Yes, not the same because they're more ball-dominant. They're not going to be a team that has to defend very much. But you need some midfielders who can go forward and track back as well. Box-to-boxes or someone who's a bit more defensive-minded but has some creativity to them. And Arsenal don't have that other than Declan Rice. Choked on my spit. But Ramsdale isn't good enough either. Ramsdale, I don't even believe, is a top 6 goalkeeper in the Premier League. And when you look at teams that win Premier Leagues, you have to have an elite goalkeeper, at least top 5. Alisson, top 5. Ederson is in that top 5. Thibaut Courtois was in that top 5. You can make a case that Kasper Schmeichel was a top 5 goalkeeper when Leicester won it. So when you look at teams, they have to have at least a top 5 goalkeeper in the league to win. Because without a goalkeeper, you're nothing. Look at Liverpool when we played Real Madrid with Loris Karius. We played some of the best football we could. But because we had a goalkeeper who wasn't elite, it came back to haunt us. And that's all I have for this video. If you agree with me or disagree with me, please let me know in the comment section below. I look forward to hearing your comments. And what do you guys think? Do you guys think I'm overreacting and that Arsenal can push for a Premier League title, if not win it, and go make a deep run in Champions League? Or do you agree with me and think that they're just going to dwindle off and maybe get top 4, top 5 this season? Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.